This meeting to order is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. It's 10 a.m. and we're here to discuss the building inspector vehicle. I'll turn it over to the building inspector.
All right. So I do a lot of inspections down on the St. Joe, Norfolk Coeur d'Alene River, clear up into Teepee Creek. That typically puts a lot of wear and tear on the vehicle. I'm trying to prevent some of that by, if I'm allowed to take the vehicle home, saves overtime. Saves wear and tear on the vehicle. I'm just trying to protect the asset, the county asset. Doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. But I think, with the amount of process that we've gone to get the vehicle, this vehicle needs to last me as long as possible. So added miles. So if I'm doing an inspection out on the St. Joe and I don't get back until 6:30 at night, well, I could kind of cut my time down by driving it home, because I drive right past my house in order to get to the county seat here in Wallace. So it would save time, wear and tear on the vehicle.
And you wouldn't need it wintertime, right?
No, wintertime, when things are slow, then, it can stay here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you do you schedule these are they can you schedule them?
I do.
One week to go to.
I try my best to do that, but that doesn't account for any code enforcement, any code violations that I find along the way. Just like last night, I was doing inspections and happened to find a house that was built without a permit, so that put me back here at the office after 5:30.
Okay.
It's kind of unexpected. So I tried to schedule it in the slot time so I can be back in the office at 5 o'clock.
But I think to answer your question, definitely tries to group inspections together so you're not going down there every day. Kind of thing. We try to set times during the summer where you can't really set Tuesdays and Thursdays. We go down to the Joe because you just never know when somebody's going to need their inspection. So based on when they call, you try to coordinate those as best you can, but you're trying not to have to go those far distances over and over again. You try to group them together the best possible.
Now, one of the things we really need to look into is how the IRS looks into this, because I know we've discussed this before and we haven't really looked into. Okay, what is the requirements that the IRS has that we have to meet before it's considered a benefit for compensation?
Sure.
And I think we really need to look at that. I haven't looked at that, but I do understand what you're saying. It does not make sense to, on that end of the valley, to bring the vehicle back all the way just to, I can see where you're saying, and then same way in the morning if you did go out. I do see that.
I do. I've had inspections at 6:30 in the morning, so I try not to schedule those, but waste management or the treatment plant out there, they're kind of.
Well, part of the question is, certainly, is there a time when you could do it periodically, but not every day?
Mm-hmm.
That creates a logistic issue if you bring your vehicle in,
Yeah.
and you got to try to double team, get your vehicle back, that kind of thing. But,
Yeah.
But if you know you're going to go south the next day, you could take the car home. Or if you know you're coming back late, so you go home with it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want to just start going home with it and without asking.
Yeah.
Without being okay.
I don't want to lose my job. I kind of like it.
Taking a company, taking a company vehicle home. So that was the gist of the question: is what are the parameters for being able to take it home?
And I know with the building construction and so forth, because I worked in it, and you get somebody calls for concrete at 7 a.m. in the morning, and they need you to have it inspected before then, and I know how tight schedules are, and so you're actually out trying to help the builder as well.
And it saves us about 40 or 45 miles every time you don't make the loop to Wallace and back on that car.
That adds up fast.
Doesn't our Public Works do the same thing, and haven't they worked that out with the IRS rules? Isn't that what they've reported to us?
I believe so. I'd have to check into it to make sure that it's, because I don't really know what the IRS rules are exactly.
I suspect you have to separate your miles, and what are personal miles versus what are work miles.
I'd have to read into that, and I can.
So you estimate the miles per day of driving in to work, and then, for instance, myself, if I get here, and then I go to Kellogg for a meeting, or go to Coeur d'Alene for a meeting, then those are work miles, not personal miles.
Mhm.
But the back and forth from home to work are personal miles.
Okay.
We'll track that in some way, and then that would be the miles you would use to be compensated for. Whatever appropriate taxes come off of that would be the way it work. Sure, it's a reporting thing of tracking the miles and separating your miles.
And mileage log.
Okay.
I basically keep one for fuel mileage anyways. So, I mean, not really
There's all
that
kinds of
difficult.
phone apps and paper apps, and you can just write it down, if you had to. So there's definitely a way to track it pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that further just to make sure, so that I know. What else is any other comments from the commission?
I think we should allow it as long as we're following the IRS rules.
Commissioner Cowles?
Yeah, as long as in the wintertime, your slow season, it sounds like you're not. But I definitely want to read the IRS rules as well. And just make sure everything's,
And
or what process we really need to do, whether it be mileage log or,
Sure, how do you track it?
Right.
how do we track it?
yep.
Okay. And kind of use your judgment on, if you're going to be, out and about and,
I always get nervous when I stop at Yokes on my way home with my car in the parking lot. What's Dan doing at Yokes during the day? I'm stopping on my way home to get groceries or to get lunch or something.
okay.
So
So,
drive all the way home to drive all the way back to Walmart.
so do we want to allow it with further review into the IRS code? Ensure that we're following the proper procedures? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I will motion that we allow our building inspector to take his vehicle home when it's work related, and that we follow the IRS rules for recording and reporting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public comments?
Just this is a lot bigger issue than just James taking the car home. This is the whole county. The updated vehicle use policy needs to get done. Because what I read on the IRS rules is if you have to be on call 24/7, that you don't get charged for the vehicle. And we know that people go on vacation, the vehicles are sitting here. So it's just a bigger issue that needs to be addressed. And make sure that just because somebody's saying they're going by the IRS rules, I've seen too much of this in 10 years to know that I trust everything.
All right. Anything further from any of the other commissioners? Okay. All right. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Right.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.